And we're live. Hey, everyone. Joe Bosquez, your host. I'm your host, Joe Bosquez, for a special episode of Divesoft TV. This is going to be our Christmas special. I even have my Divesoft Christmas t-shirt. So I wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and Happy Holidays to everyone that's watching. We've got a special episode for you guys today. I have my buddy Jakub Sláma. We'll be piping him in, and he'll be joining us today from our other Liberty in Detail episode. So it's going to be real great to have him on live today. So we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about 2020 and what an exciting year it's been, and what we have in store for you guys for 2021. So let's see if Matt can pipe in Jakub. I'm so glad to see everybody joining us. Hey, there you are.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah. Let me turn up my volume, make sure I can hear you. I like your shirt.
I like the t-shirt.
There we go. The special edition Divesoft Christmas t-shirt. So, all right. Looks like we got everybody tuning in. We got Rebecca, Dave, and Mike Menduno is joining in. Aaron's there. So we got everybody tuning in. So
hi, everyone.
Yeah, super
Greetings
happy
from the headquarters in the Czech Republic to all of you. I hope you are all ready for Christmas break, which will be well deserved.
Yeah, this year has been an exciting year. That's to say the least. We've got a lot to chat about. So it looks like, what time is it over there in the Czech Republic right now?
It's 7 p.m.
7 p.m. So yeah.
So we've had a bit of a long day. We're still. We're doing some cleaning, we're doing some stock taking, and we're also trying to, assemble as much as we can, get units together. And, after 5 p.m., I just clocked off. I was just filling some gas for the weekend to go diving and for the Christmas break to have all the tanks loaded. And, now it's just a well-deserved beer time and talking to my buddy.
All right. Yeah, no, it's... we missed you this year. Normally we get together on the shows. We get you over here for DEMA and Tech Dive, and it's been quite a year with things getting canceled, and especially with how we started this year. At the end of 2019, or at least last year at DEMA, we were all pretty pumped. We had a great DEMA in 2019, and then we were going into 2020 real excited. I think. When was the boat show 2020?
It was in January. It was late January.
And so how did that show go?
It was awesome. It's I think that the COVID time makes you really realize how much of a good time you have at the dive shows, and you really get to miss it. I really miss, and you just look back and you're like, man, like we had some good parties, and it was really busy, and it was a really good show. It was great.
Yeah, no, I know I miss seeing all my friends, all my buds from all the different all the parts of the world, and seeing everybody. So now when you think about it, you're just like, oh man, we did have a lot of fun. And so
yeah. Well, fingers crossed. So hopefully this will come back next year. Stronger than ever, and we'll have a good time again, and I think everybody will enjoy it like even more, because we've had this break, and now everybody's eager to get to see everybody, because we've been also used to seeing each other on regular basis, and it's been so nice. You get to travel, you get to dive at different locations while you go and do the shows in different countries all around the world, and yeah, it would be nice to do it again. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, and I think we'll all have a really new, a refreshed perspective on shows, and basically just being able to kind of engage everyone and get our hands on like new equipment, and it's I think kind of the first casualty of this year, the first at least trade show this year that got pushed was Tech Dive.
Yeah.
And so I know when we see, there you go. There's some shots from Boat Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Matt. He'll be piping in some kind of pictures as we kind of go, and we're going to really, this episode is going to be a lot of like kind of reflecting on how 2020 was, and kind of what we did, and just and so we know what we did, so we can know where we're going, right?
And
So
also about what we're planning on for next year, which we've as you know, but maybe not everybody knows, we've been extremely busy in the factory, and we've got a lot of things in the pipeline, very very exciting things in the pipeline, and we've been very busy over the COVID period, and it also, and I believe in also many cases the COVID has transformed us a little bit,
right,
and I think
I think a lot, yeah.
in other directions it made us to look at things differently and change things and introduce new things that we have found out that are really good for us. So we're going to talk about that, later on in the talk too.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And so, first off, kind of the elephant in the room. I think what COVID hit in March, and so I know that the way that we were impacted here in Florida was probably very different than it was in the Czech Republic. And so, it's at first things were, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know, what to do and whatnot. And so we were kind of just all followed all our precautions and kind of got into lockdown. And that's when I know you and I and Mathieu and everyone in Divesoft, we started talking. We just started trying to figure out what we could do while we're sitting at least in the office, when we can't, go and engage people. Because scuba diving, it's a team sport. It's all about engaging people. It's about working together. I know I'm a teacher at heart, and so I thrive on engaging with people and students. And it's like, so how do we do that? And so that's where we kind of came up with these episodes, right? The Liberty in Detail. I know you and I talked about, like, man, back in the day, we used to love just kind of getting online and researching things, just researching the hell out of things, right? And so we were just like, well, let's get the gear in front of us and just start talking about it. And with the dive talks, I talked about, like, there's so many interesting people that we know in the industry that, they're very humble people. They're not necessarily in front of cameras very often. It's like, well, let's, get them on and talk about their story, and share their story about it, and just kind of give like a fresh perspective, all while being piped into people's cell phones, people's computers, while everyone's kind of at home. And it ended up turning into something pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've had particularly from Divesoft TV and older media, that we've we had a little bit more time to pay attention to, just due to the change of everyone being pinned in their houses, and obviously with it, how the times have changed, you spend more and more time on the social networks and on
Right.
YouTube and on social media. It was actually gave us the space to slow down a little bit and to find a new avenue, which was the start of Divesoft TV. It was Liberty in Detail, your dive talks, and Liberty in Detail Live, and we've got heaps more things in the pipeline that we'll also talk about later on. So that was one of the good things that came out of it, I think.
So tell me about kind of because of course you and I both, we did a lot of film and video production before getting into diving, right?
Well,
Tell me about the early experiences
where
of,
are you
like,
heading with
getting
this,
into
Joe?
videos. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I know for us over here, man, Matt and I had to learn so much for these live streams. We're lucky that with Dive Right and Scuba, Mike Peterson was doing live streams, and so I know we kind of pegged his ear a little bit and, like, hey, how are you doing this? And so it was a big learning curve.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just it was just give it a try and go, and see how it works out. And I look at our first episodes of Liberty in Detail, and then you look at the episode like 13, and it's like, oh man, like I can see some sort of a learning curve there.
Oh my God.
And it's just how it goes. But I mean, it's really nice because, like, you get your team behind you, and everybody sort of, you get the support, and you get the help, and yeah, we just got a really good people that we work with, and everybody's so passionate and everybody's so excited about what we're doing that it's just, it's awesome, man. Like but yeah, the beginnings definitely were
Yeah, I know.
hard, yeah.
It's like there's like a little bit of a blooper reel that I want to make sure that never gets made. And so that, especially like at least in the Gear Talks episodes where I'd have like all the gear on the table and I'm trying to build a unit and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, I can't make any mistakes. I'm on camera right now. It's like there's no stop. And so I was lucky I didn't make any mistakes, but I'd knock something over and I would just completely ignore it. As long as it happened off the camera, then it's fine.
Yeah, and you guys have had a like in terms of like going back to COVID, like you guys have had like some big plans that you've had planned out for this year, and some of the things didn't work out, but you guys also did manage to slip in a roadshow, yeah, with some.
Yeah, no, it's we what do we still manage to accomplish? Like you're saying, we had demo days. I know that I have some folks watching. I know I got Tracy's watching from Northeast Scuba. We keep pushing our dates and pushing our dates for doing demo events, and we kept pushing it. And our friends up in Canada, the border's been closed, so we haven't been able to get to hook up with them or do anything. But don't worry, we're going to do that for 2021. And then, but we managed to go up to Chicago for a demo day, and that was a road trip. And let's see if Matt can pipe in some of the pictures. We had the world famous Dee, and she got to go to lots of places.
Mine's on the top of a shelf, like in the other room, because we were doing a big clean out. But
Waffle House.
And she's been around, hasn't she?
That's who's that? Oh, Elvis Presley. That was in Nashville. Yeah. Yeah. It's here at Divesoft, we do a lot of road trips because we have so much gear, and at least we get to see a lot of the countryside. I know I really enjoy it. And then we had the demo event in Chicago, and that had some great turnout. I can't even remember off the top of my head how many demos we did. It was 2 days, and we were diving in Hague Quarry, and we were just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was a lot of fun. That's the best thing about working in this industry is just all the friends I make, and so new dive partners.
Yeah. You guys went all the way to the West Coast too, right?
Yeah. So from Chicago, we drove through Las Vegas to Los Angeles in California. So all of our friends in the West Coast, we got to go see them. So that was a gorgeous drive. That's in Colorado right there. So yeah, lots of time spent as Dee with the buffalo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's we
that's Mr. Bozanic.
Yeah, so we hooked up with Jeff Bozanic, and he got a unit, and we went through a course together. And I've always been a big fan of Jeff's work, and a lot of the books that he's written, Mastering Rebreathers. It's like
I love that
the Bible of rebreathers, and it's it was a real pleasure diving with him and training him on the Liberty rebreather. And we got to do some really fun diving in Laguna Beach in California. We saw so much marine life, and it was a great time. So,
and Michael was there too, yeah.
Right. And then we had Michael Menduno. He also was with us during this class, and so him and we were both learning about the shore entries in Laguna Beach. And so, it was pretty rough.
Kudos to them guys, because the surf. I've seen the pictures of the surf, man, and it looked gnarly.
Yeah, I used to surf a long time ago in the Gulf of Mexico, and you're like, oh, we'd surf the hurricane swells, and it's like, no, just like this, a weekday would just pick me up and throw me. And so, but Jeff would walk into the water and the seas would part, and he would like go straight in, and then it closed behind him, and it would just grab me and just throw me.
You don't come across to me as a surf dude, but
Yeah, I know, hardly, right?
But yeah, yeah, no, I think I guess we can also talk about a bit about like your background. About, I mean, a lot of people probably have gotten to know you a little bit from starting the Divesoft Dive Talks live.
Hmm.
But I guess I mean, a lot of the things about your diving past have already been said. But I think it may not be a bad time to you can sort of go over your experience a little bit too, I think.
Well, it's I've been diving. I've been in the water since before I could walk. But I started diving like in '99, and my dad was a big time diver. We used to live in the Caribbean, and so he got into scuba diving there, and then it kind of just fell onto me. And in college, I studied at Texas A&M, and I studied marine biology, and diving was kind of a big part of it because we focused a lot on teaching marine scientists how to use diving as a tool. And so I enjoyed the scuba diving so much of it that I really kind of focused so much on that, and just really kind of integrated it into the academic portion of it. And so with the university, we focused on diving scientists, and teaching people how to use it as a tool. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we got Jeff watching. He's on camera. So his
Oh
15
yeah.
minutes of fame, yeah.
Hi, Jeff.
But yeah, it's the university, Texas A&M has an incredible diving program, and we got to go through all of that. And then I worked with Tom Iliff a lot, and we got to go and explore caves in the Yucatan, in Panama, and all over. And he's been to caves all over the world. And so it was a real experience working with him. And then when I finished school, I went to go work at NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Lab, and that's a training facility where they teach astronauts how to do spacewalks underwater. And so it's a giant pool where they have a mock-up of the International Space Station. And in the space station, it's a 1-to-1 size ratio. So they use retired suits. They'll work in the suits. They'll have an umbilical piped into the suit, and they have a dive team there to fill out all sorts of different roles, all the way from like camera divers to safety divers to utility divers. And so I was there for about 4 years, and I did everything I could underwater. And so it was a really great experience to work with the astronauts and to get a chance to get in the spacesuit. And they use us as crash test dummies. We're a lot cheaper than the astronauts. So we teach other divers what to do in case of emergencies. So we would go down to the bottom of the pool. We would start working on something, make sure everybody gets nice and calm and relaxed. And then all of a sudden they'll get on the comms and they'll tell us, like, all right, EV1, open up your gloves. And so while we're underwater, you're making sure none of the safety divers are watching you, and you would pop open the glove ring. And so you'd open up the suit to have like a rapid depressurization. Now, we would only have it about halfway pressurized in the suit. And so the divers would basically have to catch that, and it was simulating an emergency. And so the divers would have to remove you off of station, and then they have to take you up to the donning stand, because the suits are so heavy, they have to use a crane to get you in and out of the water. So it was a lot of fun. We got to be really sneaky like that. But
Man, I remember the very first time, like when I started working for Divesoft, which was just over 2 years ago. We went to Vegas for DEMA,
mm-hmm.
and I met you, and we're in this rental house, and you tell me your stories about like how you worked for NASA and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, man, I love this show, Jonathan Bird's Blue World. And I was like, I was watching all these episodes, and he had an episode of them being in a neutral buoyancy lab. And he was like, and you go to me, yeah, I remember them filming it there, like while I was there. Like, let's have a look at it. And we turned it on in like first 5 seconds. There's an overview going over the pool, and there's you just like standing there, just like
walking around. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah,
small world.
It was a small world. Now, it was it was a fantastic experience. I miss all the dive team so much. They're such great guys. there's a real benefit, at least to living in Houston. It's nicknamed Space City. And, we've grown up going to NASA and going and seeing those places. And I always encourage everyone, they do tours at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. And so, if you're ever in Houston, a lot of people go to Space Center Houston, but they don't go see the real NASA. And so it's a really cool thing. So.
Yeah, man, that's great.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a lot of fun. I hope we need to share some pictures and videos and stuff. There's some funny stuff on there. So. But man, yeah, it's and then so before me, or I'm sorry, besides me, so what were you doing before you came to Divesoft? I can't believe it's already been almost 2 years. 2 years for me too.
And time's flying when you're having fun.
Right.
No, well, I basically I learned to dive in Australia. I left the Czech Republic when I was just over 20 and went traveling and spent a long time living overseas, most of the time living in Australia. And I wanted to start diving before I left the Czech Republic. And now I wish that I knew, because if I could change something and I was 20 again, the first thing I would do is to become a scuba diving instructor and just do dive internships and just travel around the world.
Yeah, it could bounce around. Yeah.
No, honestly, if there is somebody listening to us and is about to 20 and trying to figure out what to do, I think that's definitely a great way to have some fun for some time.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people to do that.
Yeah. Well, while I was living in Australia, I basically started diving there. I had my intro dive at Great Barrier Reef, and then I spent most of my time living in Sydney. So I was in wrecks and a history ever since I was a small kid. So I was sort of naturally drawn to that, and started diving there. We did lots of ocean dives on our own and stuff, and we're just diving all the time. And I just loved the community of guys from the dive shop. And there was a GUE dive center, and there was really nice bunch of guys there. And there was some guys that did a lot of wreck explorations. And at the time, one of the instructors, Liam Allen, he was doing the USS Atlanta project in Solomon Islands. So I was super interested in that, and I was really taking everything that came out of there, all the news. And then the Mars, the Magnificent, was discovered, some years later, but it was still super interesting. And I was trying to figure out a way how to get into tech diving so I could get. Sydney has awesome, and the Australian coastline, there is so much you can do in terms of diving.
Right, yeah.
Pick whatever you love doing, and it's there. So you got a huge variety of what you can choose from. But I wanted to do wrecks, and started diving, went through the GUE sort of the training path, and ended up at Tech 2. And then I was about to go on eventually get on a rebreather, and then me and my wife decided to come back to the Czech Republic and do a whole bunch of changes. And we it was funny how I ended up in Divesoft. My wife wanted to do some traveling, so we went through Russia, and then I was like, oh, I'm sick of traveling. I wanna find a job. But before I find a job, I'm gonna go to Croatia and I want to see the B-17 at this island and see the wrecks there. So I just found a dive shop online and found these guys, and went diving with them and got along with them. And they said, hey, what do you want? You're looking for a job. What sort of job do you want? I'm like, oh, well, I want to work as a salesperson and in something cool. And I want to do a job that I love. I no longer want to do jobs that I don't enjoy. And they're like, well, they may be looking for somebody in Divesoft. And I'm like, okay. So, So I went for an interview next week, and it was on Thursday. And the boss goes, hey, when can you start? I'm like, I'll come in on Monday. So I came in on Monday, and I've been on since, and it's been great. So it's been really awesome.
Yeah, it's so funny how kind of this all works out. A lot of people ask me, oh, how did you get started in Divesoft? they're like, "Oh, did they buy you a rebreather?" I was like, "Oh, no, I had my rebreather before," and so I was
Well,
like, "Oh,
didn't you? I think I remember. This is one of the things that I don't think I'll ever forget. I think when we spoke, you said in your case it was either a house deposit or
yeah,
buying a Liberty.
yeah." It was either
And
"Oh,
kudos
should I
to
try
you,
buy a house or buy a rebreather?" So it turned out the rebreather would have been is the better investment.
man. Awesome.
so, so don't listen to your parents, folks. But
Don't
but
tell anyone.
don't tell anyone. And so it was so interesting because I know, but I had my rebreather and I was teaching
I'm
at the
sweaty in this.
university, and so I'm
Since
sure
we're
that
indoors,
beanie, it's the Divesoft beanie is extra warm, so it must be a
yeah,
little hot. But the
and the
with
t-shirt
me,
too.
exactly the I had my rebreather, but I was talking with my TA a lot, and so I would want to kind of learn more about the unit and learn more two different things. And he told me, he's like, "Oh, they're coming to Texas for a demo event," and I was like, "What? Nobody comes out to Texas!" Like it was so exciting. I was like I drove 3 hours to get out there, and it ended up I was helping out and everything, and it was really good. And so it's I guess people think that maybe the diving community is, or at least the industry is bigger than what it is, because in reality it's really just it's very, very small. And so I know, at least through these live streams, I've been able to, get some really good friends from people that just watch these shows, and we'll message and we'll talk offline and everything. And it's so interesting now with social media that you can really kind of get in touch with people that work with manufacturers and kind of get more. It can be like really, it makes the world a little bit smaller. And
Yeah.
so you can get to know people. And so it's really nice, because otherwise you think of these companies, it's like, oh, they're just trying to make money off of these things. And it's like, no, it's very different than that. And so it's a really cool aspect of social media, I think. So
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's so nice to be able to communicate with people so much quicker, and I get people, also contacting me on Facebook and other you name it,
and
and
I love it. I
I get a
encourage it.
bunch of messages
Yeah,
there. But it's so cool because you can have an instant response. Like I get people
right,
asking about the units, I get people asking about the other products, and you can get to them straight away. And
right.
I'm usually like, hey, just give me a call, and I just, we just have a chat. I explain people what's going on.
Yeah.
We can talk about what's, what I can take them through the product if they're interested in it. And yeah, it's really nice that you can be so close to people, and then you go to a dive show, and they people turn up at the stand, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's super fun, I
It's like
think.
a one big
And
family.
yeah, and I really I always encourage it. I tell people, write me anytime. We just got to go diving together sometime. And so it
Yeah,
doesn't matter if it's snorkeling or anything. So, um,
exactly.
but here let's so something that I think we did the demo days. Kind of going back to our chat. We did the demo days. We had Michael Menduno and Jeff Bazanik joining us out on the West Coast. And then you guys got to do kind of a demo event, a special event, right? And so
Yes,
tell me
we
a
did.
little bit about that.
Yes, we did a demo event for it was a club consisting of disabled guys, so guys on wheelchairs. They were paraplegic and quadriplegic. Um, they were awesome, man. It was like
Yeah.
so incredible. They have this sports club, and it's all these guys that are really into sports, and even despite their disabilities, their spirit is it's absolutely amazing. And they have this club, and they travel around. They do various sports, and
Mhm.
they also try new sports. And I was quite surprised because a lot of them already had diving experience, and CCR was new for all of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them had an open circuit experience. So they were trying, the ones that didn't have any, they were trying open circuit and CCR, and the others that had the open circuit experience were get the opportunity to try the closed circuit, and it was amazing. It's just they were absolutely loving it, and you can really see the sensation that they. I mean, the first time I tried CCR, like there's all these different senses that you get that you don't get with open circuits,
Yeah.
circuit, which is the silence, the breathing, just absorb the surrounding environment differently,
Hmm.
and particularly them, they the way they were just describing it was incredible. And some of them could swim around on their own, some of them needed a little aid, but yeah, it was so nice to be a part of it, and give them the opportunity to try something new, and they all loved it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. And man, those pictures came out great. They look like they're having so much fun. I bet it was a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. It's wonderful. You got to be able that we got to be able to do those, even though with kind of all the restrictions that we've had and whatnot. And so just kind of going to show that we can do things properly if as long as we follow all the certain guidelines and whatnot. We're still able to kind of enjoy ourselves and have a good time. So that's really good.
Yeah. No, it really is, and there's been so much going on with COVID, and it's kind of been like it was just coming in waves.
Yeah.
First of all, we had a complete lockdown, and then it sort of ease out a bit, and then it was like a full lockdown again. And same thing in our diving industry, right? It's been also going through phases. We had a phase of not having any oxygen sensors, and
Right.
yeah, and yeah, it's just we had to. We also had a time working with face mask. We also had to change the type of production. People had to be, the people that could work from home had to work from home, and we really had to like seclude ourselves. And yeah, it was very strenuous in terms of trying to keep up the normality
Right.
within some boundaries.
And I think people really underestimate how mentally straining implementing all these kind of changes and so many unknowns. How tough it can be on people, mentally. And so it's I know I really appreciate that we were able to kind of adapt and adjust and be able to continue to work and like to continue to deliver products. And it's important for all of us to be able to work, because this is our livelihood. And so it's just, I think it's a big testament to show how we're all willing and able to adapt.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's we I know we had all these photos showing the factory. I always tell people to take a look. We have a video kind of showing off the factory and stuff, because a lot of people don't see how much manufacturing and how everything goes behind all these products.
We really get I tell everyone, hey, if you wanna come for a visit. I'll take you through when we do when we get people and they come for a visit. They're really in awe, and they're surprised about the scale of the factory. We This is what we make our living from,
Mhm.
and we don't just make rebreathers. We make dive computers. We make reels. We make analyzers.
Right.
So there is a quite a sort of a line of products that we make, and that the facility, the size of it is quite large. We've also had some renovations done this year, where the development facility is right next to the testing facility and the manufacturing. So it's sort of changed the layout a little bit, so it's more streamlined and it works even better. And the company's renovated some buildings in the back of the property, so because as it's expanding, we need more room. So we've moved some material to the back, but yeah, because we're so self-sufficient in a way, we require like fair amount of space, but it's so awesome because since we have the entire chain of what you need to get the product from nothing to the final product, which is a relatively a long way.
Yeah.
And we can do all that in-house. Anything's possible. So anything can be developed, and it's just a matter of getting the heads together and getting the thing done. Just figure it out. And so the thing that the guys can just come up with or create, it just can be done, and it's done in house. And usually when people come here, they're like, okay, wow, now I understand it a little bit more. The video don't pay the justice, but we're gonna do more, and over the time we're gonna make more videos and more material to show the people that will not be able to come here and see it with their own eyes. So show them more on the video.
Right. Yeah. I remember when I first came, kind of the first thing that it reminded me of was at NASA. It was like the light mock-up facility. We did a lot of manufacturing there. We manufactured all the mock-ups and stuff that went into the pool. And, I was like, oh, this is a fantastic facility. I thought it was even, better than a lot of certain aspects of it, because, you're able to get the latest and greatest things versus kind of in government. It's a little bit different. At least, that's the benefit of the private sector. We can experiment with a lot of things. We always joke at the NBL, we used to have to dive with spare airs, and we had to do some things just because it's OSHA guidelines. But in the private sector, we can kind of experiment, we can develop, and there's a lot more R&D that can happen. And so it's some really cool stuff at that factory. So.
Yeah, it definitely helps to the development of things to, have this ability and not being as restricted. So it's, in diving industry, I think, particularly in recent years, there's been a lot more effort put into development of things, and, getting really the research and the development stepped up. And yeah, we do the best to do that, and have the means to do it as well, and not as many restrictions as if we were under some sort of a large body.
Right. It's the private sector that's able to kind of develop and experiment. And so, but so like getting back to some things that what we kind of went through on 2020, we had a new website that went up and a new eShop that was launched, trying to kind of smooth, make all of that kind of interaction smoother and better with clients. We released the Liberty Light. I think that was in the fall of 2019, right? And so the Liberty,
No, we did. I think we had. Did we have a demo? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
Yes, and we went to Dahab in the beginning of the year to just finish some testing and not testing. We'll just go and dive it. Really do some nice diving on it, and I just can't pick which one is my more favorite. I went to. We have 7-degree water here, 7 degrees Celsius degree water. Very here cool. Now. And I went diving the Liberty Light last weekend, and I loved it, man. It's my. I've got one here. This is the prototype that I was. There was one of the first prototypes. I went diving it last weekend because currently you can get the light with back-mounted counterlungs. I went testing it, and we did tests with it with front-mounted counterlungs. So from beginning of next year, it will also be available with front-mounted counterlungs. We first of all, it was the unit's super light and it's so comfortable, and it's so nice to just keep it trim in the water. You have really nice just freedom to look around, and I just love it. It's just so nice.
Right, right. It's complete. I mean, the Liberty Light's completely different than the typical back mounted Liberty rebreather because of it's all soft goods, and it changes kind of the comfort, how it feels, how it sits on you. And something that's unique about the Liberty Light is that we made it kind of lighter, more travel friendly, but we didn't change any of the electronics, any of the breathing loop. It's none of the important parts are compromised, but it's just we kind of tried to trim the weight on where we were able to remove it. And just like Ed Stockdale is saying, he did what was that, a 4-hour dive?
Hey Ed.
Yeah, 5-degree water last weekend on light. It's that's pretty cold for me, but it sounds fantastic. And so you don't have any reduced capabilities is what is important. And so it's just a different kind of unit. But
I mean,
and that was really important with this year with the Liberty Light, because that's something that we've really heard from clients, is that the Liberty is a heavy rebreather, and most rebreathers don't come with a stand, but this one it's all stand, the back plate, everything's just kind of integrated, making it a kind of a heavier unit. And so the Light was just kind of an answer to that.
It really is awesome, because when you actually do have to travel to a remote destination, you obviously aren't taking your cylinders. You're just taking your breather. You're getting your bailout on site and everything. So all you got to do is just take the rig. So why would you carry metal around? And really, with 15 kilos, I usually take my head on board with me. Another thing that we're coming up with next year is we're going to have a case for a head. So you will just have a nice handle on it, and you can also put it over your shoulder, as if you'd imagine for example, camera lens carry pouch. So it will also have a pocket for the Liberty passport, and so you put your head in it, and you take it with you on board of the aircraft, and then you're looking at 10 kilos of a rebreather. And that's awesome, man. Like, I'm flying to Bikini Atoll with the Dirty Dozen group in June next year, which I can't wait for, because that's always been on the bucket list. But it's that's definitely what I'm taking, because the weight is so crucial when you travel this far, that there's no point of taking a heavy unit when you don't have to. And I can just switch it from my primary unit into the Light and just go, and nothing's changed. There's no different work of breathing. Nothing's changed. So it's awesome.
Right. And then, Matt's showing these transport cases that we have too, so.
Yeah. So there was another one of those things that we got. We figure out why to go with the dull black, right? We need
black.
Yeah. So we need some cool cases. So we got those cases made, and got them in a color, and with a nice logo. We're also you can get them you can get your name tag lasered and get stuck to the case. If you buy a Liberty unit, you get a better price for a case. And yeah, they're great. They're just nice transport case. Just keep the unit safe.
Right. No, they're wonderful. And they make a good chair too. When you get the unit out, you can put it on top of it too. They're tough.
Well,
they're tough cases.
Really heavy on it, and I sat on it, and I'll show you what it is in a minute. And it's doing fine. So you'll see.
Well, yeah, like we're kind of already saying, we have, there's so many things that we brought into 2020, and talking about the Liberty Light, we also kind of at DEMA last year, or 2019, we introduced the Heavy as well. It was kind of a concept at the time, and so what Divesoft was looking for was kind of a way to integrate onboard bailout. onto the system. So basically using larger cylinders. I know that I made a video kind of earlier in the spring. I was wearing the Liberty Heavy and I was wearing the Liberty Light. It's kind of the beginning of the video and the later part of the video. And so, with 2020, it was a little bit delayed, but now we're kind of moving a little bit forward. You can kind of, Jacob, show what you got there.
Okay, so the Liberty Heavy, Dan will pull the camera on it. I've built a unit today, so I've been playing a bit around with the host routing, so that's still got to be a little bit adjust. But the point of Liberty Heavy is, as you said, the ability to put larger cylinders on it. So if you would like to carry your bailout with you on your back, you can do so. You can also attach multiple cylinders to it.
Right.
So if you do, if for example, in this case, I'll just turn the camera a bit more.
There you go. Get in. There you go.
There, a bit more.
All right.
Yeah, there we are.
So this configuration is pretty popular with the GUE community, and I mean they weren't the first people to have it, but it was more of kind of like, if you're side mounting a lot of cylinders, this just kind of gets your diluent combined with your bailout on your back. And so, here it's popular to use low pressure 50s, at least in cave country. And you have the long hose configuration underneath your breathing loop. So you're on your bailout valve. You have an emergency, you swap to your BOV, then you swap hoses, and then you're in a typical back mount double cylinders configuration right there.
Correct. I haven't touched the long hose to mine yet. I've just been playing around with the hose routing, as I said. But basically, that's exactly right what you're saying. Also, the other thing with this unit is you can either use the unit with our backplate, or you can use your backplate,
right,
or your CCR wing, or you can even use a twin wing. It's all matter of the host routing that you're going to be running afterwards. There is also things that you can position on it. So you can reposition the height of the backplate, and you can also reposition the height of the stand. So
that's interesting.
So right now I've basically put my cylinders on it. So I've got my argon bottle here as well. So for my suit, and this is my O2 cylinder. So, and we've incorporated things that we've already had. So for example, as some of you people may know, the way the Liberty closes, we needed to create a locking mechanism. So we have developed one which is applicable to Liberty Light and now Liberty Heavy as well.
Right.
So you can attach it to your existing head and the scrubber and lock it up and use it in a Liberty Heavy configuration. So it's great.
There you go.
So we're hoping to hopefully have this one ready within the next. I'm hoping the first quarter of 2021, if everything goes well. So it's not far.
Yeah, I hate saying dates because so many things happen, things change, and then everyone's like, "Joe, you said January 2020." I'm like,
There's gonna reply to any emails from March onwards if this thing's not ready.
Like Corona.
Sorry, guys, if it's not. But it's the thing with development. Things do get longer sometimes. Do take longer sometimes. We always want to make sure that things are right when they come out, and sometimes it takes longer. And we've had a lot of feedback, a lot of people asking about this one. So there's quite a few people out there waiting for us to get this one completed. So we're doing our best to get it out as quick as we can.
Exactly. And but what I think the big takeaway is that in the last let's say in the last 3 years, what Divesoft has released is all these different configurations: the back mount, front mount counterlungs, back mount counterlungs, side mount, Liberty Light, and then this heavy on top of the analyzers, the solos, the freedoms, and then the different updates on that, and just like the innovation to making a unit that could basically be a one-stop shop. If you want to do this type of diving, you can configure it to this or that, all with minimal, I don't need to go to Home Depot and buy parts and like kind of build it myself. It's something that's designed and tested properly. And so it's, I think it's a unique aspect of Divesoft and the Liberty Rebreather that's, it's upgradable, and you're not going to be stuck with a head and you're just like, well, this unit isn't supported anymore. It's like, I got to go buy another rebreather. So
yeah, no, you're exactly right. We're always trying to make things implementable to the existing system, or at least give you as the user an option to upgrade it in some sort of a way without having to replace everything altogether. Obviously, it will have to get to the point one day when that's no longer possible. But
right.
with everything, I mean, but we always try to have things upgradable, and just making them modular and cool to be tailored for yourself, exactly to your needs. So right now we basically, including this unit, will have the whole lineup of what you can imagine. So you will have no longer.
These pictures,
I will not tolerate any excuses of getting a different unit, because you can no longer come and say, "Hey, I want to use my own backplate on it." I'm like, "Well, go get the heavy." I was like, it's too heavy for traveling. No. You can use the same unit and you just convert it into light. And you can also convert it into side mount and just go into the cave with it if you really want a slim profile.
There you go.
That's me with a beard.
But you still have a beard, it's just not as long.
Yeah. I was getting a lot of negative feedback at home, but I can't twirl the mo, and I think I'm gonna go for the mo a bit more. It was Dan's idea, by the way. So Dan's film.
What are you looking at, Jacob? You got Dan behind the camera, and he's also behind all the awesome video and photo editing that's been happening this year.
Exactly.
So, I just want to thank Dan for it.
Yeah, this is so I'll make some space for Dan.
Hey, look, he's got a great t-shirt too.
Everyone, hey Joe.
Yeah,
so
and then
right now where we are basically is we're sitting where we film Liberty in Detail, and we have about 4 more episodes to do, and maybe we'll add some more in the future. But right now, after we finished the CCR Liberty in Detail, we're going to move to our brand new recording studio, which we have renovated at the back. So then fitting it out and sorting all things out. And yeah.
Definitely, it's going to be awesome. I really look forward to it. Brand new lighting, brand new colors. You'll love it, guys.
Oh, man. See, like I'm telling you, Dan, we need to get you over here.
Yeah, he's coming.
Dan and I have been just kind of figuring this out as we go, so.
He's gonna put like little fairy lights everywhere, and he's gonna make it real cool.
Minions.
See, it is red. That's my dive light there. I hope it's not gonna melt itself through that bench.
Probably is. It's already too late.
So
we have a lot of episodes planned for the future in 2021. Let's chat about that.
Yeah. So where to start? We've got so many plans.
Going back to the camera.
Yeah, it's important.
Dan's going back to his place. We should play with him every now and then, so people don't get sick of my face.
That's what I say. So
2021. There is so much lined up for next year, and I'm hoping that the traveling's gonna sort of start going ahead. hopefully, fingers crossed again, it will start happening. Probably not right away in the beginning, but I guess things will start moving. Anyway, that's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
But yeah, we definitely haven't been sleeping, so I guess it's time to reveal some of the new things that we have planned out for 2021.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So should I go first, or you got it?
You go first.
All right. So I know. So with our Dive Talk series, I've got a couple more guests coming up in the early part of 2021 in January and February, and then we're going to start right now we're at a 3-episode series. We might do a 4th episode depending on how it looks, but we're going to do a bailout rebreather. It's going to be kind of a panel. We're kind of we're still we got all the guests lined up, and so because typically, at least when we go to these trade shows, we have these forums that go on of like different topics, and we try to get subject matter experts to talk about, like, in the early days, it was like topics like nitrox, or topics like, rebreathers in science and whatnot. Do they have any place in working diving? What we want to talk about is bailout rebreathers or dual rebreathers. And we're trying to get folks together that are doing the kind of diving, and how do they dive? Is it better to mix an eCCR rebreather and an MCCR rebreather? Is there any problems that might come with that? Is it better to have 2 Liberties? Is it better to have 2 KISS rebreathers? The double meg configuration. There's so many kind of unknowns and things that you can talk about. And there's some people doing some incredible things, and it's not new at all. Bill Stone did a 24-hour dive in the 90s, and it's but it is really becoming a real mainstream. There you go. I think we should definitely have Jeff come chat about diving rebreathers in the Antarctic. That'll be a great episode. Yeah. But no, we're really excited about this bailout series, and hopefully maybe we can have some kind of start some bigger conversations and find out where it's going. And I'm really excited about that, and that's kind of a bigger project at the moment. And so trying to get all those cats in order is a little bit of work right now, but that's something that we're excited for 2021.
Yeah, no, we have definitely recently noticed quite increased interest in terms of bailout rebreathers. Also with Liberty, which is quite sort of, it's one of the more suitable machines for this type of diving. Right. And we also had a episode on CCR Liberty in detail about it, and even with the view count and the feedback that we got on the episode, we could really tell that this is becoming one of the hot topics. So that was one of the reasons why also the decision was to be why it was decided this would be probably a good idea to take this further, because I think some agencies are working on developing training. Because at the moment there isn't really any real training, but also diving a bailout CCR brings a lot of
new problems.
Yes. But on the other hand, it gives you so much more it extends your range so much.
That's the thing, that's kind of the thing that we want to see if we can maybe find an answer to, is this a range extender, or is this just something to make the logistics easier, or is this just something completely different that we don't even know? We're not asking the right questions. And so, especially in the past, it was more kind of, you had to build it. Now you can just go buy a rebreather off the shelf, and then you can just combine it with a side mount CCR, or mount them together like a twin set of cylinders, and boom, you're off. And so I think it's a lot easier than it's been, and so that means it's more available to at least to the diving community. And so is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? And I'm here to ask any questions, however weird or abstract they might be. I don't know. So
I think that'd be very weird.
Very
Um,
weird.
no, but it's like with everything. I mean, it's everybody does it in their own way, and it's really good to share the information because that can help us to learn and maybe tweak things or just have a look at things from a different angle.
Yeah, yeah.
It will help to move further, and who knows where this is going to lead. But same as with the videos and the talks, if you don't try, you don't know what's going to come out of it. So February, it's when the panels will start.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So what else have you got there for 2021?
So in 2021, you talked about the Liberty Light, the front mount counterlungs. We talked about the heavy. What about the OTA?
Okay, so we have we will have a new member into the family. We call him ODA. So it's ODA, Optical Display Adapter. That's what the acronym stands for. So ODA is an optical display adapter that you attach to your BOV. So same rail as where you would slide your head-up display, and you will basically see your handset
The
screen
handset.
there.
It's a fully rendered display where basically displaying your essentially your entire computer. You can have your depth, your time, PO2,
Exactly.
of course, and it's going to be replacing your heads-up display.
That's correct. Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
So we will have ODA coming out. Next to ODA, we are also having something that's we'll be releasing something that's super exciting, and it's already in this. I can't turn it because Dan locked up the camera, and I'm not strong enough. It's
No
also
sneak peek.
a bad boy, but it's the new electronics, the Liberty 1.5.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's super cool.
We've been testing it for a little while.
Yes. I have been, and our testers have been testing it too. And from the end of January, all the units will be coming with Liberty 1.5 electronics. And yeah, that's it. No,
that's it.
What the
let's talk a little bit about the 1.5. I don't know, and at least I know I've been testing it. We've been testing it and whatnot, and so that's something about. So the Liberty Rebreather RCUs are in the head. There's two motherboards in the head, and so so it's a complete hardware replacement of this 1.5 electronics, and a number of features, but at least one of my favorite features is the battery life. It's just tremendously exploded in terms of it's so. I think I was teaching Mel Trevino in Mexico and went the whole course and didn't have to charge the batteries. And so that was extremely exciting because usually you would recharge them after every day of diving. And I was like, okay, well, let's see how long these batteries last. And at the end of the class, I was at, I think, 50% battery. And so, which was pretty exciting.
I couldn't even find my chargers the other day because I haven't charged my unit for so long that I was like, oh man, I can't find my chargers. So that's definitely one of the features. Any existing users of Liberty will have the ability to upgrade the electronics. So
right.
Exactly what we were talking about. It's something that's also available to people that already own Liberty, and so battery is one of the options. One of the features, better extended battery life. The next feature, which is really cool, is air integration. So wireless.
I've always had traditional SPGs, so I was like, "Oh, cool! That's neat." But that's actually really cool.
It's really great because you obviously keep your eye on your handset throughout your dive regularly, and you can also select how your pressure will be displayed. So there's two different ways how you can select it being displayed. And yeah, it's just great. It's so nice. You just look at it, you know exactly how much gas you've got, and you don't have to look at your SPGs anymore. So yeah, that's another feature. What's the next feature, Joe?
The next feature. Oh, I mean, I'm still hung up on the long batteries. The
next feature that I love also is the GPS. So anytime you're on the
GPS
server,
and Bluetooth now.
and the Bluetooth too. So not only can
Type in
you,
your favorite tunes.
huh?
You can, yeah, we can just stream your music, straight to your Liberty, so it can be playing while you're, just kidding. I wish.
I don't know if it can do that. I think it may. Hang on, we don't have a Monday. We're off since tomorrow, so we don't have a Monday meeting. So I'm gonna have to bring it out on the first Monday when we're back after Christmas. Okay, so Spotify availability, right?
Oh, there you go.
For Bluetooth, yeah. So firmware updating and logs downloading made easier. So you just hook it up. You don't have to remove your if you're using the head cover. You don't have to. You no longer have to remove it. You just do it wirelessly. So that's another feature.
Right.
We also have a moisture sensors inside of the head. So
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing that we should chat about. Yeah.
yep. So there are sensors that are detecting any moisture buildup inside of the electronics compartment. There shouldn't be any, because inside there is a obviously it's a sealed compartment, and it comes out of the factory, and it's been tested to 350 meters. So there shouldn't be any loss of any moisture shouldn't get inside. So, but if it did, the electronics can detect it now, and it can
Right.
inform you about it.
Right. That's it's basically it's kind of an early warning system in terms of if detects any type of moisture, you can abort the dive, and you can, hopefully make your way back to the surface, and before you get any real damage to the processor or the CU or anything. I mean, that's the hope for it. So
Yes, exactly. And also, so these are the new features, and that will basically be a standard with your unit, which is pretty awesome. And also, one thing that we have, it's already been out, but maybe we have not mentioned this enough, and that is exchangeability of, not exchangeability, maybe the wrong term for it, but you can basically swap your oxygen inlet into the head.
oh yeah, no, that's something that we haven't talked about. So a lot of folks that are diving in side mount, the solenoid feed, the oxygen feed, it kind of sticks off to the side, because when you're in back mount, it needs to go kind of straight down, and so it sits outside of the head. So when you're in side mount, it kind of sticks out to the side. What we've done, or what Divesoft has done, is they basically created another feed for the oxygen solenoid, so that you can swap between, either it goes off to the side or it can go on the top. So it makes it more streamlined and in line with diving in side mount. And it also makes building the side mount unit
So that's another feature that every head comes out with. And there's just like another addition to awesomeness.
There you go. And it's to kind of close everything up, is that the Divesoft, everyone here at Divesoft has been working really hard to really start refining a lot of our products, and refining the way that we get the information out to all of you, and how to keep the community involved, just like how we have guests on, we have our ambassador program, people that we really believe the kind of diving that a lot of the folks are doing is like, we want to support them and work with them, and So we're kind of working on all fronts in terms of the designing new products, training, and then our diving community. And so something that I always like to ask is, what do our viewers want to see more of on Divesoft TV? Do you guys want to see more in-depth videos on products? Do you want to see us, diving into certain topics, like how we're going to do the bailout series? What are some things that you guys want to see? Always jump in the comments below and start, mentioning some ideas. And yeah, it's and I always encourage to message everyone on Facebook and Instagram and all our other social media outlets. And the same goes with demo events. Even during, throughout the coronavirus, we've been able to adjust the way that we do our demo events and follow certain guidelines. We have our cleaning solution, and works really well with really disinfecting all of the products so that people can use the rebreathers. And if you guys want us to come to do a demo event with you guys, get in touch with either a local instructor or reach out to us. I know I tell everybody here in the States to, shoot me a message and we'll start putting things together. It's something that we'd love to really do. And and that's, moving forward to 2021.
Yeah, likewise. Same thing. We've got way more coming that's in the pipeline. There's quite more stuff that we could talk about.
Right.
By the way, we dive our units with wings. I'm still yet to fit this one with it, but yeah. So
yeah, I didn't even realize that it didn't have a wing on the.
looks better without it, doesn't it?
I was like, it looks really different. And I was like, I don't know, but maybe I did it wrong, And so I know in 2020, despite everything that happened this year, we really enjoyed, making these videos. We really like. I know I really enjoyed the people, all the folks that would keep watching every week and they would tune in with the comments. I tried to make little games with the ducks and the caps. We have so many of those. And so we really appreciate you guys being really involved as viewers and commenting and also sharing all these videos and stuff. It helps build our community.
Yeah, and also from myself, thank you so much, guys, for so much of your support, for following us, watching our videos, commenting on everything, and also for asking us, which makes us feel a lot closer to you. So whenever you guys have any questions, we're open here for you, and just ask us. We're happy to help. We have also we have grown our instructor network over this year. We've also got a new group of ambassadors that are really awesome guys and really awesome group of people. A lot of them are also our instructors, and majority of our instructors also offer demo dive. So and they also have all our other products. So if you your local dive center doesn't have any of our products and you would just like to check them out, contact one of these guys because they're worldwide, all over the place. So a lot of everybody's awesome, super friendly. So just contact them. Go try the unit for yourself. Even if you're not CCR certified, just go and try it. I remember my first time when I was on open circuit, I just wanted to know what it feels like. And just for the sake of experience, even if you never ever bought a rebreather for diving, just to have the experience of what it feels like and what the sensation is to try one of the units, you can easily do that. Just contact one of our instructors or contact us, and we will recommend you who would be the closest to you, or who can take you out and have a good time, show you.
Right. And thanks again, and happy holidays from Divesoft, and Merry Christmas from. And so thanks again, and we will see you guys in 2021. We'll be moving forward into the new year.
See you guys. All the best. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And see you in 2021.
And let us know. Thanks,
Let it-
everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya.